Okay, the next section is going to be to do your presentation. So I'm going to create like a skeleton PowerPoint that you can use, and like each of the sections of your analysis and describing your variables is going to be in like a PowerPoint. So I'd encourage you to like actually build this as you build your report, as you work through the assignment. So as you work through your analysis. Um, you can do this in like the most low-tech way as possible, like, or you can do it like with a screen capture. Personally, the way I use it is I use QuickTime, so I use them and I share to YouTube. If you share to YouTube, then I would just make sure that like you can't like you edit the video after, and you make sure it can't be searched, but like it can be found with a link, so that you can still share it with your classmates for a link. So now let me just kind of clarify the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to get the ideas out, so that they're clear to like somebody that's reading your report without actually going through your whole report. So the purpose of this is for you to actually make sure that you're on track with everything, and the presentation to get feedback. You can still implement that feedback into the final report. So it's like a way for you to be clear about what you're saying, and if there's something you don't understand or doesn't make sense, then your peer can give you that feedback, and then you can implement that into your report. We're gonna have in this course, we're gonna have a like partners where you'd have to release your report or your presentation to somebody else, talk about your presentation, and then make sure that and you would read somebody else's too. And so if there's something that you're missing, you'll be able to catch it and put it into your final report. You're also going to share it with me, so I'm going to be able to watch it while I mark your report. And then I'm looking for that improvement section. So if you did miss something in that presentation, you kind of discussed how you've improved that into your report. And so that'll be the point of it. Again, you could use a screen capture, but you can just also hold a cell phone up to a computer screen and talk about your presentation. And they should be like 10 to 15 minutes at the most, maybe even under 10 minutes. In this class, like, so written this up to choose, and so we'll probably have these posted. So just want to make sure that everyone's got somebody that they're giving feedback and receiving feedback from. So I'll take care of like organizing that, and then and I'm going to give you something like a form that you can use to give feedback. And so I'm going to give like questions, and the way we do it. And so like we also in the feedback, you would also like ask some follow-up questions about the study, and then the person who wrote the study or did the report, they would then, or the presentation, then they would give their best answers into the report. So even if you find, oh yeah, everything's great, like you still have to ask some follow-up questions so that that person can answer those follow-up questions in the report. And then the last thing you would do is like areas for improvement. So are there things that come up? Is there something that you want to maybe study more? Are there any biases in your investigation? Are there things that like that maybe you used a variable that will naturally go up with time, and every variable that naturally goes up with time is correlated? Maybe you talked about that here, and it's perfectly fine to say like there's red flags here, and this is just a discussion for further studies. And then what you do is go back to these slides, make sure you've had everything, go back to your feedback, make sure you have everything, and then you put everything into one. Sorry, you put everything into one PDF file with all the graphs and tables, and then make sure you read back the PDF and you can see all your graphs. And then if there's any sections that you can improve, so just adding more detail or being more like elaborate more on,